Hello and welcome to YouTube Pagan Challenge. The question for this week is, do you keep a journal or diary of your experiences? The short answer here is yes, but the long answer here is also yes. Diaries are probably the most obvious form of my keeping of my experiences. However, I do keep many other different forms of keeping my experiences. It's general pictures are very important to me. I post pictures of every single month at the end of the month every single year on Facebook so that I can keep all of these pictures together. And if I'm no longer friends with somebody, I don't delete their pictures. I keep them because that is record of my life. It is record everything that I do, whether or not it's something that I am necessarily happy about, or whether or not the pictures make me sad, or whether, anything. I will not take them down. I am never going to be embarrassed about pictures that are taken about my life. I also have picture books from when I am younger, and there are videos from when I was younger, and my family just sent me a whole ton of pictures online. And so I keep a lot of pictures of my experiences, pictures and videos, which I have managed to keep the trend going throughout my entire life. But I do keep diaries, and it's actually rather impressive. This is my first diary. It's plain, leather-bound, black. I don't know if this is real leather or pleather, but I filled it from start to end with words. It started back in when I was 11 years old. I actually, at the time, was drawing pictures of myself for every single year. I missed 17 and 18, so I'm gonna have to draw a picture of me as a 19-year-old, simply because the last age that I actually drew an anime-style picture of myself was 16, and I've gotten much better at art. I was doing that for the progression of art styles, and I think out of all of the years that I drew on here, my 14-year-old drawing was the best. But that's because I actually practiced anime a lot at the time. The first entry in here is August 14th, 2008, but then on July 16th, 2011, I ripped out a whole ton of pages, so it's all terrible right there. But then I kept it going and I never ripped out anything from my stuff again, so that's extremely important to me. This is my first diary. Now, I have a lot more diaries. This is my second diary. It's nice and beautiful. That's something that I want to keep throughout my time. I want to keep all of my diaries with non-notebook paper. I want them to actually be legitimate, nice, covered books. I want them to actually look nice rather than being like this thing. I don't want a notebook to do my diaries in. I want nice looking diaries, and I will continue doing that. This is my second diary. By this, I was a Wiccan by the end of my first diary. I did not have a religion at the beginning of my first diary. So that is a new development. I started doing a thing. At the beginning of all of my diaries, I would write an introduction to the diary, and then I would do a Book of Shadows blessing on it, and then I would write the Wiccan Read afterwards. And just because I knew that I would be putting in here lots of things about the religion, and I thought everything that goes within the religion might as well also be added to my diaries, because I am writing things in here that I would not necessarily otherwise share with the world. And it does fit with the idea of a book of secrets, because that's what a diary is. And books of shadows are basically books that were originally meant to be secrets. I also tend to put little drawings that I do throughout time. This was my boyfriend at the time that I drew a picture of, but I basically would throw little tidbits in there throughout time. This, oh my gosh, I love this one. This is my third diary. Shoot for the moon. Even if you miss it, you will land among the stars. I love that quote. It's one of my favorite quotes. My cousin Victoria picked this out for me, if I remember correctly, I think she did. And I also filled this one out from start to end, so it's nice and filled up with lots of things. I actually started putting in text message conversations that I thought were incredibly inspiring that I had with people into here. I also, this diary is about when I started doing that. This diary lasts until, let's see, what was the last day in here? Wow, pages are a bit more hard to turn. Sunday, February 10th, 2013, dark moon. So, I have a dark moon. I actually was listing out the moons during this diary as well. It has been a general tendency of mine to keep writing down the moon phases in here. This one, I stuffed a lot of extra pages into this one. And my gosh, this is incredibly exciting to me. Anyways, wow, okay. The pages also started falling out of this one, so because, I don't know, I'm guessing it was lower quality or something, but this was an old book that I kept, and it didn't go well. And I like that it had a whole set of letters that you could just stick in here, so as a place for you to stick them in. So I actually started writing down my poetry in here. I actually wrote down all of my middle school poetry right at the beginning of this so that I would have it kept, because I knew that I didn't have a place where I wrote down all of my poetry. So I put that in here. My cat died during this diary. My cat in middle school, which that was quite sad. I randomly would take notes in here if I ran out of paper during school, because I would always carry around my stuff with me. This is the tea that I got at the Renaissance Festival. This is the bag for it. I actually have drank all of this tea, but I thought that I should keep it there because it has what was in it written down on it. It had gunpowder green tea, rose hips, lemon balm, and powdered honey. Oh, so it was really good. And it was a creative-tea thing at the Sacred Grove Apothecary. So I'm thinking one of these times that I go back, I'm probably going to get that tea again, or maybe try something else regarding the teas. But I definitely wanted to make sure that I kept track of what was in it. I also would write the incredibly heinous things that people would say to me in these diaries. So this diary was started on February 11th, 2013 and ended on April 7th of 2013. So that probably gets you wondering about how long these entries are. Here is my fourth diary. It's written in from start all the way to the end. Oh, cute drawing. But I have a tendency to write anywhere between a small paragraph and 12 pages. And actually at the beginning of my, oh my gosh, okay, so I was with Joe during this diary. My last entry was on, holy crap, okay, this is a very long entry. This one was ended on Wednesday, July 10th, 2013, waxing crescent moon. So, it was still 2013. A lot of these were in 2013. I wrote a lot. Okay, so this is my fifth diary. Wow. I had managed to fill in so much space and wanted to finish an entry that I had written on the very last page of this. And in this diary, I was with William. And, yeah, this is an incredibly long diary. It ends on October 11th of 2013 on a waxing crescent moon. So we're moving through the year here of 2013. And that's diary number 5. Diary number 6. I think it's exciting that I really started writing a lot right when I was becoming a Wiccan. Like, shortly before researching for, like, that whole year and then becoming a Wiccan. Like, that whole process. It was in the middle of the first diary. So I had quite some time before that been writing in there. So I thought it was all exciting. Diary number 6. I even labeled it. Yep. And I occasionally would write the Book of Shadows Blessing in runes instead of normal old English. And I filled it from beginning to end. What was that? Oh. Also, when I wrote my full moon rituals, these are the scratch papers from them before I wrote them on nice paper to put in my Book of Shadows, like my main one. So I put them all right in on the day that I made them. So I have a nice big stack of paper here on page 38. Oh gosh, I labeled the page numbers on this one. Well, it had a spot to do it. This was put in here for Tuesday, July 23rd, 2013. This, oh, I said a goodbye. That's my signature. It still kind of looks like that. I was still with William during this diary. It has 164 pages in it. That's actually quite a surprise. This was ended, the very last entry in here is on, wow, okay, this is a really long entry. Monday, August 26th of 2013. It was a waning gibbous moon. Or gibbous moon, or however you'd like to pronounce it. This is my 8th diary, as well as, sadly, this was also my 2nd diary before the first diary, because I had diaries when I was a very small child, but I never filled them, and I had ripped out all the pages before the first diary existed, so it only has diary number 8 stuff in here. And way less pages, but it's so tiny and adorable, and I filled it all the way to the end, and I was still with William at the time when I ended it. It's so adorable and pink and fuzzy. I love showing off my diaries. It's one of my favorite things ever, so I was like really excited for this to happen. This diary, my 8th diary, ended on Saturday, November 9th, 2013, waxing crescent moon. Now this here, I just finished writing this like a bit ago. This is my 9th diary. This goes out of 2013. It goes through my breakup with William, getting together with Jarrett, going through and breaking up with Jarrett and getting together with, well, with Irish. And Irish is my current boyfriend, but that's how much time this took. This took about 3 years, because I finished this like last month, I think. Let's see. Saturday, June 18th, 2016, waxing gibbous moon. So, yeah, this diary lasted me 3 years, but look how thick it is. And I always loved how decorated it is, because it's like really beautiful. It also was started on the worst day of my life. So, this is an extremely emotional diary, and I probably will never let anyone read the entire thing. Unless, of course, I give these away. But this diary is extremely personal to me. And my 10th diary. I appear to have not brought it over here. Just a sec, I'm gonna bring it over here. So this is my 10th diary and my current diary. There's butterflies on it. I really like the idea of butterflies, which I'm pretty sure everyone knows, because I basically have this whole with the butterfly thing going on, and also the butterfly is my spirit animal. So yeah, and I just think this is very beautiful. I love the cover. It was started, Oh, yeah, I have a nice thing here, and I actually wrote goals in here for what I would think about in regards to shadow work, because I've actually been working more with the shadow work lately rather than just everything else. I apparently haven't sufficiently been doing this until recently, which I didn't really understand shadow work until about 2 years ago, so I wasn't really connecting with myself quite as much as I needed to be, and while I thought I was doing enough shadow work before, that was apparently not the case, because now I'm doing it a lot and it's getting better. Things are getting much, much better. So I'm very into the whole idea of a balanced path. So this diary was started on June Saturday. Wow, this date was written totally out of order. June Saturday 18th, 2016, waxing gibbous moon. So Saturday, June 18th of 2016, and it was a waxing gibbous moon. So I wrote that, and that was the first day. This is where I had about 45 pages in the first entry, because I was thinking and thinking and thinking on a very, very emotional topic last month, and that was pretty crazy. I have not yet finished writing this diary. I'm still working on it, but I do have 3 other notebooks prepared for whenever I finish up with it. So this is I'm about halfway through. Well, not even halfway, because this isn't halfway, and this is the first blank page where I'll be writing today. I actually write nearly every day, pretty much. I carry it around with me again. The problem with having this big, clunky one, as beautiful as it is that I can't easily carry it around with me, whereas the smaller ones I can, and I'm able to write about things more frequently, which is extremely important to me because I want to be able to do that. So I have quite a ways to go to finish this one off, and this is my current diary. So, diary number 10. So, I've been keeping record of my experiences for quite a while, and it's pretty much, lately I've been writing about my feelings about things and thought processes. I haven't really been keeping my experiences as much because I'm extremely emotional, and while it does involve experiences, I don't just sit there and write out how my entire day went, because I used to write everything that I would do in the day, as well as how I felt about everything that would go on in the day. I'd also write down all of the conversations that I had during the day. I stopped doing the conversations first a long time ago, but I used to keep all of that information in my head during the entire day, and then I'd spend about 4 hours writing it out, or at least of the things that I could remember. So now I just do what's extremely important to me to write down, because I actually don't like falling behind in the dates, because sometimes I would, and that would really upset me, and now it doesn't anymore because I'm just sitting there and writing what I feel like I need to write, rather than focusing so much on sharing all of these different experiences. Yes, I'm going to use these for an autobiography, but I also have a head. And Facebook. Facebook is a huge record of my positive experiences, and the pictures that are on there also include the negative ones, because I do enjoy taking pictures of myself while I am crying, which is probably a good thing. Now, I do have some other things that I do keep some experiences in. This is my dream journal. While I have used it for, I started using this during my psychology class. I had a different dream journal before, but I didn't really like how I was doing it. So I was keeping a dream journal based off of how my teacher, Miss Crosby, explained how to do it. And from time to time, I do go back to using it, but I don't always do it. It's an out of habit thing for me. So if I do manage to remember to put this up by my head, I manage to, for a few weeks, every now and then, put dreams in here. I have not finished it. It's pretty old, considering this was psychology class during my junior year of high school, and I just finished my first year of college. So that's, I'm actually, after I clean my room, I'm thinking I'm probably gonna set this on my bed somewhere. But the problem is keeping a pen with it. Like, I kept having that issue because the pen would keep falling out of this, or like while I was sleeping it'd fall somewhere else, and then I have to go get up and find one, and then I couldn't write in here. Like, that was the main issue during the time. That's why it became out of habit for me. Like, that's just my main issue, keeping a pen near it. So I'm thinking, you know, maybe sleep in the opposite direction and put it on my desk while I'm asleep behind my laptop, because then the pen wouldn't be able to stroll away. Like, that might actually be a good idea. I also keep all of my poetry since high school started in here. And I have a lot of poetry, and this is actually 3 notebooks long. I just duct taped them together. So, like, I have a lot of poetry. It's all falling out because this isn't bound very well. I actually did have to tape some of the stuff back into it, and I just kind of stuff random things in here too. So it's kind of like, and nearly every single notebook, all of the pages are falling out. Like, I have to actually try in order to keep these things together, but I don't want to lose all my poetry. So I've been posting them online on my blog account for poetry, which I think I'm going to link at the bottom in the description box below, so that you guys are able to go through and read the poetry I've posted online. I usually write poetry on my phone because I always have my phone with me, and I don't always have this with me. Sometimes I write it in my diary, but I always transfer them from the phone and the diary into my poetry notebook, which does not have super nice binding. But I'm thinking I'm just going to keep duct taping new notebooks to the end of it, so eventually it'll be pretty thick. I wrote the majority of that poetry during my senior year of high school, but I still write poetry. And so, I actually am thinking that perhaps because the binding on this thing is so, I'm hoping that I'll be able to transfer all of my poetry onto YouTube, but I want to learn how to animate first. That way I can make really nice videos to go along with me speaking the words, because I did try to put my poetry on here before, but nobody seemed all that interested. But I'm thinking that's because I was just talking to the camera and reading, and people don't necessarily want to sit there listening to somebody read. I'm also thinking that that would probably be something that would be more interesting, because when I go and look at what other people post in regards to poems, they usually have something in the background that people can look at and that is visually interesting. So I'm planning on figuring out how to do that, and then I'll be posting my poetry on here again. And I know that I write good poetry. There have been many poets who actually have talked to me and think that they like my poetry, and I've participated in a couple poetry slams as well. So I know that I'm pretty okay at this, and most people love my poetry, other than the fact that it's really depressing a lot of the time. That's actually probably most people's issue with it, the fact that the content is depressing, because I am a really good writer. So that is my general experiences put into formats. Also, something interesting, I have a YouTube journal, which I usually keep in front of me during all of the videos where I'm talking, because I want to be able to keep my thoughts on track. So I normally write ideas for videos down in here, and I write my general plan for each video, and then I put a line before and after each one. This is the page we're currently on. So it's a short little tidbit where I just kind of put little lists and trees that just have the information that I need in order to actually put this information down on paper. So this will be fun and everything, and it actually makes it so that I can keep on track and I don't ramble quite as much. And I think that's something that helps to keep my videos interesting. So yeah, thank you for watching. Blessed be. Please like, share, and subscribe. If you would like to click on either of the videos that I am posting right up there. It will be my previous video and my previous YouTube Pagan Challenge video next to each one, or click on the eye in the corner of the screen and it will direct you to either one if you so choose to do so. I really enjoy it that you guys are all watching my videos. It makes me happy inside. Just like, yay! I love you.